Shalom friends. It's Leah, daughter of Laban, wife of Jacob, though perhaps wife, unexpectedly, is a better way to put it. But that's a story for another time. Today, I want to tell you about a woman whose story is woven with threads of sorrow and unexpected joy, much like my own. I speak of Hannah. Hannah, wife of Elkanah, lived in the land of Ephraim. Her husband was a good man, a devout man, who loved her dearly. But Hannah carried a burden, a heavy weight in her heart. She was barren. In those days, to be without a child was to feel incomplete, almost cursed. It was a source of constant pain, a quiet ache that followed her everywhere. Elkanah, bless his heart, tried to comfort her. He loved her more than his other wife, Peninnah, who did have children. Every year, when Elkanah would go to Shiloh to worship the Lord Almighty, he would give Hannah a double portion of the sacrifice. He'd say, "Hannah, why do you weep? Why don't you eat? Why is your heart so sad? Am I not more to you than 10 sons?" He meant well, truly he did. But words, however well intentioned, can't always fill the emptiness in a woman's womb, or the longing in her heart. Peninnah, however, was less understanding. She would taunt Hannah relentlessly, provoking her, reminding her constantly of her barrenness. Year after year, Hannah endured this, her heart breaking a little more with each passing day. Imagine the scene. The festive atmosphere of the festival, the laughter of children, and the aroma of roasting meat, and in the midst of it all, Hannah, struggling to hold back tears, her joy stolen by Peninnah's cruel words. One year, it became too much. After the feast, Hannah rose from the table, her heart overflowing with grief. She went to the temple, and there, before the altar of the Lord, she poured out her soul. She didn't just whisper a prayer. She wept, she sobbed, she pleaded with God. "Lord Almighty," she prayed, her voice choked with tears, "if you will only look on my misery, and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord for all the days of his life, and no razor will ever be used on his head." She prayed with such intensity, such passion, that Eli, the priest, noticed her. He watched her lips moving silently, and assuming she was drunk, he rebuked her. "How long will you keep on getting drunk? How long will you keep on getting drunk? Get rid of your wine." Leah. Can you imagine? To be in such deep anguish, and then to be wrongly accused. But Hannah, with grace and humility, responded, "Not so, my Lord." Hannah replied, "I am a woman who is deeply troubled. I have not been drinking wine or beer. I was pouring out my soul to the Lord. Do not take your servant for a wicked woman. I have been praying here out of my great anguish and grief." Eli, realizing his mistake, softened. He said, "Go in peace, and may the God of Israel grant you what you have asked of him." Hannah, though still burdened, felt a flicker of hope. She returned to her husband, and she ate and drank, and her face was no longer downcast. And the Lord remembered her. In due time, Hannah conceived and gave birth to a son. She named him Samuel, meaning asked of God, for she said, "I asked the Lord for him." True to her vow, when Samuel was weaned, Hannah took him to Shiloh, and presented him to Eli. She said, "I prayed for this child, and the Lord has granted me what I asked of him. So, now I give him to the Lord. For his whole life, he will be given over to the Lord." And she left him there, to serve in the temple. And the Lord blessed Hannah. She went on to have 3 more sons, and 2 daughters. And Samuel, the son she dedicated to God, grew up to be a great prophet and judge in Israel, a man of God, who listened to his voice and guided the nation. What can we learn from Hannah's story? We learn about the power of persistent prayer, the importance of humility and grace in the face of adversity, and the faithfulness